In the shadowy corridors of power that wind through the Imperium of Man, there exists an organization shrouded in secrecy and fear, the Officio Assassinorum. This clandestine agency operates beyond the reach of common Imperial citizens, its very existence known only to a select few at the highest echelons of power. The Officio Assassinorum stands as a testament to the ruthless pragmatism that underpins the Imperium's survival in a hostile galaxy. Founded during the tumultuous days of the Great Crusade, this organization has evolved into a lethal instrument of Imperial policy, capable of altering the course of history with a single, well-placed bullet or blade. At its core, the Officio Assassinorum is tasked with the elimination of threats to the Imperium that cannot be addressed through conventional means. These threats range from heretical demagogues capable of swaying entire populations to xenos diplomats whose silver tongues might lure human worlds away from the Emperor's light. In a galaxy where open warfare is constant, the Officio operates in the shadows, waging a silent war that often proves just as crucial as any fought on the battlefield. The origins of the Officio Assassinorum can be traced back to the vision of Malcador the Sigillite, the Emperor's most trusted advisor. Recognizing the need for a tool that could excise corruption and threat with surgical precision, Malcador gathered together the most lethal individuals from across the nascent Imperium. These killers, each a master of their craft, formed the foundation of what would become the Imperium's most secretive and feared organization. Initially, the assassins operated as a loose network of operatives, each bringing their unique skills to bear against the enemies of the Emperor. However, as the Imperium expanded and the challenges it faced grew more complex, the need for a more structured approach became apparent. Thus, the Officio Assassinorum was formalized, divided into distinct temples, each specializing in a different approach to the art of death. The assassin temples, while united under the banner of the Officio, operate with a degree of autonomy. Each temple cultivates its own traditions, techniques, and technologies, guarding its secrets jealously. This specialization allows the Officio to deploy the perfect assassin for any given task, whether it requires the brutal efficiency of the Aversor Temple or the subtle manipulations of the Calidus. At the apex of the Officio's hierarchy sits the Grand Master of Assassins, a figure whose identity is one of the most closely guarded secrets in the Imperium. The Grand Master alone holds the authority to sanction the deployment of assassins, acting on the direct orders of the High Lords of Terra. This chain of command ensures that the immense power of the Officio is wielded with precision and purpose, never allowed to run unchecked. The selection and training of assassins is a process shrouded in mystery and danger. Potential recruits are identified from a young age, often orphans or children from worlds torn by conflict. These individuals are subjected to rigorous tests and trials, pushing them to the very limits of human endurance and beyond. Many do not survive the process, but those who do emerge as living weapons, their bodies and minds honed to lethal perfection. Each temple employs its own training methods, tailored to produce assassins suited to their particular style of operation. The Vindicare Temple, for instance, subjects its initiates to years of marksmanship drills in environments designed to simulate every conceivable combat scenario. The Calidus Temple, on the other hand, focuses on the arts of infiltration and disguise, teaching its assassins to blend seamlessly into any environment. The technologies employed by the Officio Assassinorum are as varied as they are advanced. From the neurogauntlet of the Calidus to the sin-skin body glove of the Vindicare, each piece of equipment is a masterwork of engineering, often incorporating xenos tech or archaeotech recovered from humanity's distant past. These tools, combined with the superhuman abilities of the assassins themselves, make operatives of the Officio some of the deadliest individuals in the galaxy. Despite their immense power and influence, the activities of the Officio Assassinorum are not without controversy. The deployment of an assassin is a decision not taken lightly, for the ripple effects of a high-profile assassination can reshape the political landscape of entire sectors. There have been instances in Imperial history where the actions of the Officio have led to unforeseen consequences, sparking conflicts or creating power vacuums that threatened the very stability they sought to preserve. Perhaps the most infamous example of this was the events surrounding the reign of the insane High Lord Gog Vandir during the Age of Apostasy. The Officio's failure to eliminate Vandir in the early stages of his tyranny allowed his rule to plunge the Imperium into a period of bloody civil war. This failure led to significant reforms within the organization, tightening controls and oversight to prevent such catastrophic misjudgments in the future. The Officio Assassinorum operates under a veil of utmost secrecy, its very existence denied to the vast majority of Imperial citizens. Those who do learn of its presence often do so in their final moments, as they stare down the barrel of a Vindicare's Exodus rifle or feel the cold steel of a Calidus's Satan Phase sword. This secrecy is not merely a tactical advantage, but a necessity, for the knowledge that such an organization exists could shake the faith of billions in the Imperium's moral authority. In a galaxy where the enemies of mankind are legion, the Officio Assassinorum stands as a silent guardian, ever vigilant, ever lethal. Its operatives move unseen through the sprawling hive cities and war-torn battlefields of the 41st Millennium, their presence felt only in the sudden, inexplicable deaths of those who would threaten the Imperium's rule. In the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war, the assassins of the Officio wage a shadow war, their victories unsung, their sacrifices unknown, all in service to the eternal throne of Terra. The Officio Assassinorum's reach extends far beyond the confines of Holy Terra, its operatives scattered across the vastness of the Imperium. Each of the 6 main temples, Vindicare, Calidus, Culexus, Eversor, Vanus, and Venenum, plays a unique role in maintaining the Emperor's dominion over the galaxy. The Vindicare Temple stands as the embodiment of precision and patience. Its assassins are unparalleled marksmen, capable of making seemingly impossible shots across vast distances. Equipped with Exodus rifles, weapons of such power and accuracy that they're said to be able to pierce the armor of a space marine, Vindicare assassins often spend weeks setting up the perfect shot. Their targets are typically high-profile individuals whose elimination can alter the course of entire campaigns. One such operation took place on the hive world of Necromunda, where a Vindicare assassin lay in wait for 3 solar months, subsisting on recycled water and nutrient paste. The target, a charismatic underhive gang leader whose growing influence threatened to destabilize the planet's delicate power balance. With a single shot fired from 30 kilometers away, the assassin ended the gang leader's reign, disappearing without a trace and leaving behind only whispered legends. In stark contrast to the Vindicare's methodical approach, the Eversor Temple produces living weapons of mass destruction. Eversor assassins are barely human, their bodies and minds twisted by a cocktail of combat drugs and bionic enhancements. They are deployed in situations that call for maximum carnage and terror, often against rebel strongholds or xenos enclaves that have resisted conventional military action. The mere rumors of an Eversor's deployment can be enough to quell insurrections, such as the fear they inspire. On the frontier world of Tarantus, an Eversor assassin single-handedly decimated an orc warband that had been terrorizing Imperial settlements. Witnesses describe a blur of motion, a storm of blades and biochemical fury that left nothing but gore-splattered ruins in its wake. The Calidus Temple specializes in infiltration and deception. Its assassins undergo extensive physical and mental conditioning, allowing them to assume any identity with perfect accuracy. The polymorphine drug, a closely guarded secret of the temple, enables Calidus operatives to alter their very physiology, mimicking any humanoid form. A Calidus assassin's greatest weapon is not a blade or a gun, but the ability to sow discord and paranoia among the enemy ranks. During the Macarian heresy, a single Calidus operative, assuming multiple identities over several years, managed to turn the squabbling factions against each other, ultimately leading to the collapse of the rebellion from within. The Culexus Temple stands apart from its counterparts, for its assassins are not trained but born. Culexus operatives are pariahs, soulless individuals who generate a null field that disrupts psychic energies. In a galaxy where the warp's influence grows ever stronger, these assassins serve as the ultimate weapon against psychic threats. On the demon world of Corion 9, a Culexus assassin was deployed against a powerful sentient sorcerer whose machinations threatened to open a permanent warp rift. The assassin's presence alone was enough to disrupt the sorcerer's rituals, allowing Imperial forces to launch a successful assault and reclaim the planet. The Vanus Temple operates in the realm of information and strategy. Its assassins are savants of data analysis and prediction, capable of orchestrating events on a galactic scale. A Vanus operative might never fire a shot or swing a blade, yet their actions can topple empires and redirect the course of history. During the Gothic War, Vanus assassins worked tirelessly to decipher Abaddon the Despoiler's strategies, providing crucial intelligence that allowed Imperial forces to anticipate and counter the Chaos Fleet's movements. Their efforts saved countless lives and secured vital strategic assets for the Imperium. The Venom Temple, masters of toxins and poisons, operate with a subtlety that belies their lethal efficacy. Their assassins are walking arsenals of toxic agents, capable of ending lives with a touch or contaminating entire water supplies without detection. In the opulent spires of the hive world Scintilla, a Venom assassin brought low a corrupt planetary governor and his entire court. The method, a specially engineered virus that lay dormant for months before activating, mimicking the symptoms of a natural plague. By the time the true nature of the contagion was discovered, the assassin was long gone, leaving behind a power vacuum that allowed loyal Imperial agents to seize control. Despite their diverse methods, all temples of the Officio Assassinorum share a common purpose: to serve as the Emperor's silent blade, excising threats to the Imperium with surgical precision. The deployment of an assassin is a decision weighted with grave consequences, for their actions can reshape the political landscape of entire sectors. The process of sanctioning an assassination is shrouded in bureaucratic secrecy. Requests may come from various sources: inquisitors uncovering plots against the Imperium, Imperial Guard generals seeking to decapitate enemy leadership, or even rival noble houses maneuvering for power. These requests are meticulously screened by the Officio's vast network of analysts and informants, with only the most critical making their way to the Grand Master of Assassins. The Grand Master, a figure whose identity is known only to the highest echelons of Imperial leadership, holds sole authority to issue the dreaded execution orders. These orders, once given, set in motion a chain of events that ends only with the target's elimination or the assassin's death. Training for the Officio's operatives begins at a young age, with potential recruits often identified among orphans or children from war-torn worlds. The process is brutal and unforgiving, with many aspirants perishing before they can don the mantle of a full assassin. Those who survive emerge as living weapons, their bodies and minds honed to lethal perfection. Each temple employs unique training methods tailored to their specific disciplines. Vindicare initiates might spend years perfecting their marksmanship in simulated environments that replicate every conceivable combat scenario. Kaleidus aspirants undergo extensive psychological conditioning to withstand the mental strain of constant identity shifts. The technologies employed by the Officio Assassinorum are as varied as they are advanced. Many of their weapons and tools incorporate xenos tech or archaeotech recovered from humanity's distant past. The sin-skin body glove worn by Vindicare assassins, for instance, is said to incorporate adaptive camouflage technology reverse-engineered from Eldar artifacts. Despite their immense power and influence, the activities of the Officio Assassinorum are not without controversy. There have been instances in Imperial history where assassinations have led to unforeseen consequences, sparking conflicts or creating power vacuums that threaten the very stability they sought to preserve. The Officio's failures, while rare, can have catastrophic repercussions. Perhaps the most infamous example is the event surrounding the reign of the insane High Lord Goga Van Dier during the Age of Apostasy. The Officio's inability to eliminate Van Dier in the early stages of his tyranny allowed his rule to plunge the Imperium into a period of bloody civil war. The Officio Assassinorum's influence extends beyond mere elimination of targets. Its very existence serves as a deterrent, a shadow looming over those who might contemplate betrayal or heresy. This psychological warfare aspect is perhaps best exemplified by the Eversor Temple, whose berserker assassins inspire terror in equal measure to the devastation they wreak. One of the lesser-known but equally crucial branches of the Officio is the Ordo Sicarius. This internal organization serves as both overseer and inquisitor, monitoring the activities of the various temples and ensuring their compliance with imperial mandate. The Ordo Sicarius operates with a level of secrecy that surpasses even that of the assassin temples themselves, its agents moving unseen through the ranks of the Officio. The necessity for such oversight became apparent in the wake of the beheading, a dark chapter in imperial history where a rogue Grand Master of Assassins attempted a coup against the High Lords of Terra. This event led to sweeping reforms within the Officio, tightening controls and implementing fail-safes to prevent such catastrophic betrayals in the future. Among the most closely guarded secrets of the Officio are the execution chambers. These facilities, hidden on remote worlds or drifting through the void on cloaked space stations, serve as staging grounds for the most sensitive operations. It is within these chambers that assassins undergo their final briefings and receive mission-specific augmentations or equipment. The deployment of an assassin is a logistical feat in itself. Operatives are often placed in deep cover years in advance of their mission, infiltrating target organizations or establishing elaborate false identities. The Kalidas Temple excels in this regard, its shape-shifting agents capable of assuming any role, from lowly hive worker to planetary governor. One such operation unfolded on the Forge world of Graia, where a Kalidas assassin spent decades posing as a mid-level Adeptus Mechanicus adept. The target, a radical tech priest whose experiments with xenos technology threatened to corrupt the entire Forge world. The assassin's patience paid off when, during a rare public appearance by the tech priest, they were able to get close enough to deliver a fatal dose of neurotropic poison, ending the heretic's plans without raising suspicion. The Culexus Temple, while perhaps the most specialized, plays an increasingly vital role in the 41st Millennium. As psychic awakening spreads across the galaxy and the threat of chaos grows ever more prevalent, the null aura of a Culexus assassin proves invaluable in countering warp-based threats. These pariahs are deployed not just against enemy psychers, but also to protect key Imperial assets from psychic intrusion or demonic possession. On the frontier world of Hydrafer, a Culexus assassin single-handedly thwarted 1,000 Sun sorcerers' attempt to corrupt the planet's astropathic choir. The assassin's presence not only nullified the sorcerer's powers, but also caused such agony to the Chaos Space Marine that it fled, abandoning its plans and preserving a crucial link in the Imperium's communication network. The Vanus Temple, often overlooked due to its non-combat role, wields power that rivals or exceeds that of its more militant counterparts. Vanus operatives are data savants, their augmented minds capable of processing and analyzing vast amounts of information to predict future events or uncover hidden connections. It is said that a skilled Vanus assassin can topple a planetary government with a well-placed data spike or a carefully orchestrated series of coincidences. During the Damocles Gulf Crusade, Vanus agents played a crucial role in countering Tau expansion. By intercepting and decrypting Tau communications, they were able to anticipate the Xenos' diplomatic overtures to human worlds, allowing Imperial authorities to intervene before planet populations could be swayed by the Tau's promises of a greater good. The Venenum Temple, masters of toxins and biological warfare, operate in a gray area even by the Officio's shadowy standards. Their methods, while effective, often skirt the edges of what even the Imperium considers acceptable. Venenum assassins are known to test new concoctions on unsuspecting populations, using entire hive cities as proving grounds for their lethal creations. One notorious incident involved a Venom operative who developed a virus capable of targeting specific gene sequences. Ostensibly created to eliminate a genie stealer cult that had infiltrated the upper echelons of a hive world's nobility, the virus mutated, affecting a far larger portion of the population than intended. The resulting pandemic nearly destabilized the entire sector, requiring massive Imperial intervention to contain. The Vindicare Temple, while renowned for its marksmen, also specializes in psychological warfare through precision elimination. By targeting key individuals at crucial moments, Vindicare assassins can demoralize entire armies or derail carefully laid plans. During the Macarian heresy, a single Vindicare operative eliminated the leaders of 3 separate rebel factions in the span of a week, each kill timed to coincide with major offensives. The resulting chaos and paranoia caused the rebellion to collapse in on itself, saving the Imperium months of bloody conflict. Technological innovation within the Officio Assassinorum is constant, driven by the ever-evolving threats faced by the Imperium. The Officio maintains links with the most secretive branches of the Adeptus Mechanicus, collaborating on projects that push the boundaries of Imperial tech lore. One such development is the ghost field generator used by Vindicare assassins, a device that bends light around the operative, rendering them virtually invisible to both visual and auspex detection. The Eversor Temple, despite its focus on brute force, employs some of the most advanced bio-augmentation techniques in the Imperium. Eversor assassins are more akin to living weapons than mere operatives, their bodies host to a cocktail of combat drugs and biomechanical enhancements that push the limits of human physiology. The most terrifying aspect of an Eversor is perhaps the dead man's switch, a failsafe that turns the assassin's body into a biochemical bomb upon death, ensuring that even in failure the target rarely survives. Training within the Officio is a lifelong process, with operatives constantly honing their skills between missions. The facilities used for this training are marvels of Imperial engineering, incorporating hololithic technology and gravity manipulation to create environments that can mimic any battlefield in the galaxy. It's rumored that some training simulations even recreate historical events, allowing assassins to test their skills against the greatest warriors and tacticians of the past. The Officio Assassinorum's influence extends into the highest echelons of Imperial power, with its agents often serving as silent observers in the courts of planetary governors and sector lords. This network of infiltrators provides a constant stream of intelligence, allowing the Officio to stay ahead of potential threats and adjust its strategies accordingly. Despite its fearsome reputation, the Officio is not infallible. Failed missions, while rare, do occur, and the consequences can be severe. A botched assassination attempt can alert enemies to Imperial intentions, undo years of careful planning, or even trigger open conflict. The Officio treats such failures with utmost gravity, subjecting them to rigorous analysis to prevent similar occurrences in the future. In the ever-shifting landscape of Imperial politics, the Officio Assassinorum remains a constant, its invisible hand guiding the course of human history from the shadows. As the threats to mankind's dominion grow ever more varied and deadly, the silent warriors of the Officio stand ready, their blades sharp, their aim true, prepared to strike without warning in defense of the Emperor's realm. The Officio Assassinorum's influence extends beyond the boundaries of the Imperium, its operatives often venturing into xenos territory or even the twisted realms of chaos. These extraterritorial operations represent some of the most dangerous and unpredictable missions undertaken by the organization. In the wake of the Great Rift's appearance, the Officio found itself facing unprecedented challenges. The division of the Imperium into the Imperium Sanctus and Imperium Nihilus necessitated a radical restructuring of operations. Assassin temples on the darker side of the Rift now operate with a degree of autonomy previously unthinkable, their isolation forcing them to adapt and evolve their methods. One such adaptation came in the form of the Umbra Mandate, a directive that allows temple masters in Imperium Nihilis to sanction assassinations without direct approval from Terra. This decentralization of authority, while necessary, has raised concerns about potential abuses of power and has led to increased scrutiny from the Ordo Sicarius. The Calidus Temple, in particular, has thrived in this new paradigm. Their shape-shifting abilities make them ideally suited for long-term infiltration missions in regions cut off from regular Imperial contact. Reports have surfaced of Calidus agents assuming the identities of Chaos cult leaders, steering entire worlds back towards Imperial compliance through subtle manipulation and well-timed eliminations. On the demon world of Tormedia, a Calidus assassin managed to infiltrate the inner circle of a Slaaneshi warband. Over the course of several years, the operatives sowed discord and paranoia among the Chaos champions, ultimately leading to a cataclysmic battle that saw the warband tear itself apart. The assassin emerged from the carnage with vital intelligence on Chaos movements in the sector, their true identity never discovered. The Calexis Temple has found its services in higher demand than ever before. The proliferation of psychic phenomena in the wake of the Great Rift has led to an increase in demonic incursions and rogue psyker activity. Calexis assassins are now often deployed in tandem with inquisitorial forces, their null auras providing a vital defense against warp-based threats. During the Charadon campaign, a squad of Calexis assassins was instrumental in foiling a massive ritual being conducted by the forces of Tsench. The assassin's presence disrupted the sorceress energies being channeled, causing a cascading failure that not only prevented the ritual's completion, but also banished a significant portion of the demonic forces back to the warp. The Vanus Temple has had to radically alter its approach in the face of the new galactic order. With astropathic communications unreliable across the Great Rift, Vanus operatives have had to rely more heavily on local information networks and predictive algorithms. This has led to the development of the Omniscient Paradigm, a revolutionary data analysis system that can function effectively even with limited input. On the hive world of Necromunda, a Vanus assassin using the Omniscient Paradigm was able to predict and prevent a massive gang uprising that would have destabilized the planet's vital manufacturing output. By identifying key influential figures and subtle market trends, the assassin manipulated events to neutralize the threat before it could fully materialize. The Eversor Temple, known for its berserker assassins, has found new purpose in the chaotic aftermath of the Great Rift's birth. These living weapons are now often deployed as shock troops in vital operations where subtlety is secondary to raw destructive power. The sight of an Eversor assassin tearing through enemy lines has become a rallying point for beleaguered Imperial forces across the galaxy. During the defense of Sanguaterra, an Eversor assassin was unleashed against a Chaos Space Marine assault. The assassin's rampage through the traitor ranks not only broke the back of the Chaos offensive, but also inspired the planet's defenders to redouble their efforts, turning what seemed like certain defeat into a crucial victory. The Vindicare Temple has had to adapt its traditional methods to cope with the new galactic reality. With warp storms making long-range travel unpredictable, Vindicare assassins are now often inserted into target areas years in advance, lying dormant until activated by pre-arranged signals. This has led to the development of new suspension technologies that allow operatives to enter a state of near stasis for extended periods. On the Forge world of Metallica, a dormant Vindicar assassin was awakened after decades of hibernation to eliminate a Dark Mechanicum Magos whose influence threatened to corrupt the entire planet. The assassin's shot, fired from the spire of a manufactorum, not only killed the target, but also triggered a series of cascading explosions that destroyed the Magos' heretical creations. The Venom Temple has found its expertise in biowarfare increasingly valuable in a galaxy plagued by new and terrifying diseases. Venom assassins are now often called upon to engineer cures and countermeasures as often as they are tasked with eliminating targets. This shift in focus has led to some within the temple questioning their traditional role within the Officio. During the Plague Wars in the Ultramar system, a venom assassin worked tirelessly to develop a countermeasure to a particularly virulent strain of Nurgle's rot. The assassin's efforts not only saved millions of lives, but also provided valuable data that would prove crucial in future engagements against the forces of the Plague God. The Officio's operations against xenos threats have also seen significant evolution. The rise of the Necron dynasties and the expansion of the Tau Empire have presented new challenges that require novel approaches. Assassins are now trained in xenopsychology and biology, allowing them to more effectively target alien leadership structures. In the Ghoul Stars region, a Kalidas assassin successfully infiltrated a genestealer cult by mimicking the cult's hybrid physiology. The assassin's actions not only destroyed the cult from within, but also provided the Imperium with unprecedented insight into Tyrannid infiltration tactics. The Officio Assassinorum's role in shaping Imperial policy has become more overt in recent years. With the return of Robert Guilliman and his efforts to reform the Imperium's bureaucracy, the Officio has found itself under increased scrutiny. The primarchs' rational, strategically minded approach has led to a re-evaluation of the Officio's methods and priorities. This new era of oversight has not been without tension. Some within the Officio view Guilliman's reforms as a threat to their autonomy, while others see an opportunity to increase their influence and effectiveness. The Grand Master of Assassins walks a fine line, balancing the need for secrecy with the demands for greater accountability. Despite these challenges, the Officio Assassinorum remains one of the Imperium's most potent weapons in the ongoing struggle for survival. As the threats facing humanity continue to evolve, so too do the methods and technologies employed by the assassin temples. In the grim darkness of the far future, the silent warriors of the Officio stand ready to strike from the shadows, their actions shaping the destiny of trillions across the galaxy. The clandestine nature of the Officio Assassinorum often obscures its internal workings, yet the organization's structure is a marvel of imperial efficiency. At its core, the Officio operates on a cell-based system, with each assassin functioning as a self-contained unit, often unaware of their counterparts' activities. This compartmentalization ensures that the capture or compromise of one operative doesn't jeopardize the entire network. Overseeing this vast web of killers is the High Lord's Officio Assassinorum, a secretive council that reports directly to the Senatorum Imperialis. This council, composed of representatives from each temple and senior imperial officials, debates and decides on the most crucial assassination targets. Their deliberations are shrouded in such secrecy that even the existence of the council itself is known only to a select few. The Grand Master of Assassins, a figure whose identity remains one of the Imperium's most closely guarded secrets, serves as the ultimate authority within the Officio. This individual bears the weight of every execution order, their decisions shaping the course of galactic events. Rumors persist of a fail-safe protocol that would activate all sleeper agents to eliminate the Grand Master should they ever turn traitor, a testament to the paranoia that permeates even the highest levels of the organization. Training regimens within the Officio have evolved significantly since its inception. The rise of new threats and the changing nature of warfare in the 41st Millennium have necessitated adaptations in assassin preparation. One notable innovation is the implementation of psycho-indoctrination techniques developed in collaboration with the Adeptus Mechanicus. These methods allow for the rapid implantation of complex skill sets and knowledge bases, significantly reducing training times without compromising effectiveness. The Kalidas Temple, in particular, has benefited from these advancements. Their operatives now undergo a process known as persona fragmentation, allowing them to maintain multiple distinct identities simultaneously. This enables Kalidas assassins to infiltrate multiple target organizations concurrently, maximizing their efficiency and adaptability in the field. Technological innovations continue to push the boundaries of what Imperial assassins can achieve. The Vindicare Temple recently unveiled the Exitus Extremis rifle, a weapon capable of firing rounds that phase in and out of the warp, allowing them to bypass even the most formidable defenses. This technology, while incredibly potent, comes with significant risks, and several Vindicare operatives have been lost to the warp during field testing. The Culexis Temple has made strides in harnessing and amplifying the null aura of their pariah operatives. The development of the Animus Speculum helm not only focuses the assassin's anti-psychic abilities, but also weaponizes them, turning the very absence of warp energy into a devastating attack. This advancement has proven particularly effective against demonic entities and warp-spawned creatures. Eversor assassins, already more weapon than human, have undergone further enhancements. The integration of experimental combat stims allows these berserkers to enter a state of controlled frenzy, maintaining tactical awareness even in the midst of their murderous rampages. This development addresses one of the primary criticisms of Eversor deployment, their tendency towards collateral damage and friendly fire incidents. The Vanos Temple's predictive capabilities have reached new heights with the implementation of quantum cogitators. These devices, utilizing principles barely understood even by the Adeptus Mechanicus, allow Vanos operatives to process data at unprecedented speeds and accuracy. In one notable instance, a Vanos assassin accurately predicted the outbreak of a planetary rebellion 3 years before the first signs of unrest manifested. Inter-temple cooperation, once rare due to the secretive nature of each branch, has become more common in the face of increasingly complex threats. Joint operations, while still exceptional, have proven devastatingly effective. The Hydra Protocol, a classified initiative combining the talents of all 6 temples, was reportedly responsible for the simultaneous elimination of an entire Genestealer-infected planetary government without a single shot being fired. The Officio's role in shaping Imperial policy has become more nuanced in recent centuries. Assassins are no longer deployed solely for elimination missions, but also for information gathering and even diplomacy by proxy. Kalidas operatives, in particular, have found themselves serving as unofficial ambassadors in delicate negotiations with potential allies or wavering Imperial worlds. This expansion of responsibilities has not been without controversy. Some traditionalists within the Officio argue that these new roles dilute the organization's purpose and effectiveness. Others see it as a necessary evolution, allowing the Officio to serve the Imperium's needs more comprehensively in an ever-changing galaxy. The Officio's relationship with other Imperial organizations remains complex. While officially answering only to the High Lords of Terra in practice, the Assassin Temples often find themselves working closely with the Inquisition, Adeptus Mechanicus, and even rogue traders. These partnerships, while pragmatic, sometimes lead to jurisdictional disputes and conflicting agendas. One particularly contentious issue is the Officio's occasional targeting of space marines. While rare, there have been instances where Astartes have been deemed a threat to Imperial stability and marked for elimination. These missions are among the most dangerous undertaken by assassins given the superhuman abilities of their targets. The political fallout from such actions can reverberate for centuries, straining relationships between the Officio and the affected chapters. The Officio's methods for identifying and recruiting potential assassins have also evolved. While orphans and children from war-torn worlds remain a primary source, the organization has begun to cast a wider net. Promising individuals from all walks of Imperial life, from hive gangers to Schola Progenium cadets, may find themselves covertly evaluated for suitability. This broadened recruitment base has led to a more diverse pool of operatives, each bringing unique skills and perspectives to their roles. However, it has also necessitated more rigorous screening processes to ensure loyalty and psychological stability. The 13 Trials, a series of tests designed to push candidates to their absolute limits, weeds out all but the most exceptional recruits. As the Imperium faces unprecedented challenges in the wake of the Great Rift, the Officio Assassinorum stands as a bulwark against the encroaching darkness. Its operatives, each a living weapon honed to lethal perfection, continue to shape the fate of humanity from the shadows. In a galaxy torn asunder by war and chaos, the silent blade of the Emperor remains as sharp and necessary as ever. Throughout the long and bloody history of the Imperium, certain assassins have risen to near-mythical status, their exploits becoming the stuff of whispered legend among even the most secretive circles of the Officio Assassinorum. These individuals, while rarely known by name, have left an indelible mark on the galaxy through their actions. One such figure is the Ghost of Valis, a Vindicare assassin whose impossible shots have altered the course of numerous campaigns. During the Siege of Valis Prime, this operative eliminated an orc war boss from a distance of over 20 kilometers, firing through a raging warp storm. The shot not only killed the war boss, but also shattered a Wa that threatened to overwhelm the entire sector. The Calidus, known only as the Thousand Faces, has become a boogeyman tale among the nobility of the Segmentum Solar. This assassin is said to have assumed over 100 different identities during a century-long mission to root out a genestealer cult that had infiltrated the upper echelons of Imperial society. The operation culminated in the simultaneous elimination of cult leaders on 12 different worlds, each by a seemingly different hand, all orchestrated by a single Calidus operative. In the annals of the Calexis Temple, no name strikes more fear than that of Null, an assassin whose mere presence is said to cause psychers physical pain. During the Third War for Armageddon, Null single-handedly neutralized a conclave of orc weirdboys whose combined psychic might threaten to tear open a warp rift. Witnesses describe the assassin walking calmly through a maelstrom of psychic energy, each step causing the orcs to writhe in agony before their heads simply exploded. The Eversor Temple speaks in hushed tones of carnage, an operative who has died and been reconstituted more times than any other in the Temple's history. Carnage's most notable feat occurred during the Macarian heresy, where the assassin was deployed against a rebel stronghold. Over 3 days of continuous combat, Carnage destroyed an entire rebel army, surviving multiple fatal wounds through sheer chemical-fueled rage and redundant cybernetic systems. Within the Vanus Temple, the operative known as Oracle has achieved legendary status for their predictive abilities. Oracle is credited with preventing no fewer than 17 potential heresies before they could even begin, simply by manipulating seemingly unrelated events across multiple sectors. Their crowning achievement was averting a sector-wide civil war by altering the flight path of a single cargo shuttle, setting off a chain of events that neutralized the would-be usurpers without a single shot being fired. The Venenum Temple reveres the memory of Toxica, an assassin whose mastery of poisons was unparalleled. Toxica's magnum opus was the development of a virus that could target specific gene sequences, allowing for the elimination of entire bloodlines without affecting the broader population. This virus was instrumental in purging a centuries-old chaos cult that had insinuated itself into the noble houses of an entire subsector. While these legendary operatives represent the pinnacle of their respective temples, the Officio Assassinorum's true strength lies in its nameless, faceless agents who carry out their duties without recognition or glory. These unsung heroes operate in the darkest corners of the galaxy, their actions shaping history without ever appearing in its pages. The psychological impact of these legendary assassins extends far beyond their actual missions. Tales of their exploits, carefully cultivated and disseminated by the Officio, serve as both inspiration for aspiring operatives and a deterrent to potential enemies of the Imperium. The mere rumor of an assassin's deployment can be enough to alter the course of events, with paranoia and fear doing the work that might otherwise require bloodshed. However, the rise of such legendary figures within the Officio is not without its drawbacks. The organization's effectiveness relies heavily on its anonymity and the interchangeability of its operatives. Assassins who achieve too high a profile risk compromising this principle, potentially endangering the Officio's operations on a broader scale. To mitigate this risk, the Officio employs a strategy known as legacy transference. When an assassin's exploits begin to attract too much attention, their identity is retired, and their legendary status is attributed to multiple operatives over time. This allows the Officio to maintain the deterrent effect of these legendary figures while preserving the anonymity of individual assassins. The training methods that produce these exceptional operatives are subjects of intense study and debate within the Officio. Each temple seeks to replicate the conditions that led to the emergence of their legendary assassins, hoping to create a new generation of operatives capable of similar feats. The Vindicar Temple, for instance, has developed the Ghost Protocol, a training regimen that pushes marksmanship and stealth skills to their absolute limits. Inspired by the exploits of the Ghost of Valis, this program has produced a cadre of snipers capable of making shots that defy the laws of physics, incorporating warp-touched ammunition and temporal displacement techniques. The Calidus Temple's Chimera Initiative takes the concept of identity assumption to new extremes. Operatives undergo extensive genetic modification and psychoconditioning, allowing them to alter their very DNA on a cellular level. This enables them to mimic not just the appearance, but the biological markers of their targets, fooling even the most advanced security systems. For the Culexus Temple, the challenge lies not in training, but in identifying potential recruits with the rare pariah gene. The Null Resonance program seeks to amplify the natural anti-psychic abilities of these individuals, turning them into walking anathemas to warp energy. Recent breakthroughs have even allowed for the limited projection of null fields, creating zones of psychic deadness that can cripple entire armies of warp-touched foes. The Eversor Temple's Phoenix Protocol pushes the boundaries of human endurance and the interface between flesh and machine. Inspired by Carnage's multiple resurrections, this program seeks to create operatives who can continue fighting even after sustaining injuries that would kill a normal human several times over. The ethical implications of this program have raised concerns even within the usually pragmatic Officio. The Vanus Temple has poured enormous resources into replicating Oracle's predictive abilities. The Omniscient Engine project combines advanced cogitators with warp-touched divination techniques, attempting to create a system that can forecast future events with unprecedented accuracy. Early results have been promising, but the dangers of tampering with the threads of fate have led to several catastrophic failures. For the Venenum Temple, Toxica's legacy has inspired the Chimera Strain project. This initiative focuses on creating customizable, self-evolving toxins that can adapt to their target's defenses in real time. The potential applications of such a weapon are as terrifying as they are numerous, leading to intense debate within the Officio about the ethics of its deployment. As the Imperium faces ever more complex and dangerous threats, the legends of these extraordinary assassins serve as beacons of hope and reminders of the silent war waged in humanity's name. Their legacy continues to shape the Officio Assassinorum, driving it to evolve and adapt in its eternal mission to safeguard the Emperor's realm from the shadows. The Officio Assassinorum's operations often intersect with the machinations of other Imperial organizations, creating a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and jurisdictional disputes. This intricate dance of power and secrecy forms a crucial yet often overlooked aspect of Imperial governance. Among the Officio's most frequent collaborators is the Inquisition. The two organizations share a common goal in rooting out threats to the Imperium, but their methods and priorities often differ. Inquisitors may request the deployment of assassins to eliminate heretical leaders or alien influences, while the Officio sometimes relies on inquisitorial intelligence to identify and locate high-value targets. One notable joint operation occurred during the Plague Wars in the Ultramar system. An Ordo Malleus Inquisitor, working in tandem with a Culexus assassin, successfully foiled a Nurglite plot to corrupt a major hive city's water supply. The Inquisitor's knowledge of demonic lore, combined with the assassin's null aura, proved to be a devastatingly effective combination against the warp-spawned threat. The Adeptus Mechanicus maintains a wary relationship with the Officio. While the tech priests provide much of the advanced weaponry and equipment used by assassins, they are also keenly aware of the potential threat posed by such well-equipped operatives. This tension came to a head during the Moirai Schism, where Officio assassins were deployed both for and against various Mechanicus factions, depending on their perceived loyalty to the Imperium. In a rare display of cooperation, the Officio and the Mechanicus recently collaborated on the development of the Omnissiah's Eye, a targeting system for Vindicar assassins that incorporates machine spirit technology. This device allows for unprecedented accuracy, even in the most challenging environmental conditions, by establishing a quasi-spiritual link between the assassin and their weapon. The Adeptus Astartes chapters maintain a complex and often strained relationship with the Officio. While both serve the Emperor, their methods and philosophies often clash. Space Marines typically view assassination as a dishonorable tactic, preferring direct confrontation. However, pragmatic chapter masters have been known to request assassin support for missions requiring a more subtle approach. During the Badab War, Officio assassins played a crucial role in undermining Luft-Huron's rebellion by eliminating key supporters and supply chain links. This surgical approach helped contain the conflict and prevented it from spreading to neighboring sectors, demonstrating the value of assassination in complementing traditional military operations. The ecclesiarchy, while publicly denouncing the concept of assassination as contrary to imperial faith, has been known to quietly solicit the Officio's services. Particularly zealous members of the Adeptus Ministorum have sometimes viewed assassination as a form of divine judgment, using Officio operatives to eliminate perceived heretics or rivals within the church hierarchy. One controversial incident involved a Calidus assassin posing as a living saint to inspire a planet's population to rise against their corrupt planetary governor. The operation's success was marred by the subsequent religious fervor, which took decades to quell and required extensive inquisitorial intervention. The Administratum, the bureaucratic heart of the Imperium, often finds itself at odds with the Officio. The assassin's need for secrecy and autonomy frequently clashes with the Administratum's desire for documentation and oversight. This conflict has led to the creation of elaborate systems of false paperwork and phantom departments to obscure the Officio's true activities from prying bureaucratic eyes. Rogue traders operating on the fringes of Imperial space occasionally cross paths with Officio assassins. These encounters can range from tense standoffs to mutually beneficial collaborations. In some cases, rogue traders have provided transportation and cover for assassins operating in distant sectors, while benefiting from the Officio's intelligence networks and elimination of troublesome rivals. The Navis Nobilitae, the noble houses that produce the Imperium's navigators, maintain a cautious relationship with the Officio. While essential for warp travel, navigators are also potential security risks due to their psychic abilities and exposure to the warp. The Officio keeps a close watch on navigator houses, occasionally deploying Calexis assassins to neutralize those deemed compromised by chaos influence. Imperial Guard regiments have, on rare occasions, found themselves fighting alongside Officio operatives. These encounters are usually kept classified, with the assassin's presence explained away as special operations units or inquisitorial agents. The psychological impact of witnessing an Eversor assassin in action has been known to significantly boost troop morale, albeit at the cost of increased post-battle trauma rates. The Adeptus Arbites, responsible for enforcing imperial law, sometimes collaborate with the Officio in tracking down elusive targets. The Arbites' extensive network of informants and deep knowledge of criminal underworlds can prove invaluable in locating individuals who have managed to evade even the Officio's considerable resources. One of the most delicate relationships the Officio maintains is with the Adeptus Custodes. As the Emperor's personal guardians, the Custodes are among the few imperial organizations fully aware of the Officio's extent and capabilities. This knowledge comes with a heavy responsibility, as the Custodes are tasked with monitoring the Officio for any signs of corruption or overreach that could threaten the Emperor's realm. The Officio's interactions with the Adeptus Astra Telepathica are necessarily limited due to the psychic nature of astropaths and the anti-psychic abilities of Culexus assassins. However, the two organizations have developed protocols for secure, non-psychic communication channels to coordinate when necessary, particularly in situations involving warp-based threats. Perhaps the most contentious relationship is between the Officio and the various noble houses of the Imperium. While many Imperial nobles view the Officio with a mixture of fear and disdain, they are not above using their influence to request assassinations of rivals. The Officio carefully vets such requests, wary of being drawn into petty feuds, but will act if the target's elimination serves the broader interests of the Imperium. As the Imperium faces increasingly complex threats, the Officio Assassinorum's role in the intricate ballet of Imperial politics and warfare continues to evolve. Its operatives move silently through the shadows of power, their actions rippling through the vast machinery of the Imperium in ways both seen and unseen, forever shaping the destiny of humanity in the darkness of the 41st Millennium. The evolution of the Officio Assassinorum reflects the ever-changing face of warfare in the 41st Millennium. As new threats emerge and old foes adapt, the assassin temples must continuously innovate to maintain their lethal edge. This constant evolution manifests in cutting-edge technologies, novel training methodologies, and increasingly complex operational doctrines. In recent centuries, the Vindicare Temple has pioneered the use of quantum-entangled ammunition. These specialized rounds, linked at the subatomic level to a targeting array in the assassin's rifle, can alter their trajectory mid-flight to overcome even the most sophisticated defensive systems. The development of this technology has dramatically increased the Vindicare's already formidable success rate against heavily armored or psychically shielded targets. The Calidus Temple's latest breakthrough comes in the form of neuromorphic camouflage. This advanced technology allows operatives to alter not just their physical appearance, but also their neural patterns, enabling them to fool even psychic or empathic detection methods. Initial field tests have shown promise, with Calidus assassins successfully infiltrating Eldari Corsair bands and even Genestealer cults, entities normally highly attuned to detecting imposters. For the Culexus Temple, the focus has been on expanding the utility of their unique anti-psychic abilities. Recent operations have seen Culexus assassins deployed not just as combatants, but as living shields against warp phenomena. During the defense of Cadia, a cadre of Culexus operatives was instrumental in maintaining a null field that protected key strategic assets from demonic incursions, buying crucial time for evacuation efforts. The Eversor Temple, always at the forefront of bio-augmentation, has recently unveiled the Phoenix Protocol. This radical procedure allows for the near-instantaneous regrowth of damaged tissue, enabling Eversor assassins to regenerate from injuries that would be fatal to even space marines. The ethical implications of this technology have sparked heated debate within the Officio, with some arguing that it pushes the boundaries of what can still be considered human. Vanus operatives now routinely employ quantum computing arrays that can process and analyze data at speeds that border on precognition. These systems, combined with advanced predictive algorithms, allow Vanus assassins to anticipate and manipulate events on a galactic scale. In one notable instance, a Vanus operative successfully orchestrated the downfall of an entire sector's corrupt leadership through a series of seemingly unrelated economic transactions and minor administrative decisions. The Venenum Temple has made significant strides in the field of adaptive toxinology. Their latest creation, the Protean Venom, is a self-evolving toxin that can adapt to its target's physiology in real time, overcoming natural resistances and artificial antidotes alike. This development has proven particularly effective against xenos species with advanced biological defenses, such as the Tyranids. Beyond individual temple innovations, the Officio as a whole has embraced more collaborative operational models. The Hydra Protocol, a classified initiative that combines the talents of all 6 temples, has been deployed with increasing frequency in recent years. These multi-temple operations have proven devastatingly effective against complex, multifaceted threats that would be beyond the capabilities of any single assassin. One such Hydra Protocol operation, codenamed Silent Storm, targeted a sprawling Genestealer cult that had infiltrated multiple levels of sector governance. The operation involved a Vannis assassin identifying key cult nodes, Kaleidus operatives infiltrating and disrupting cult communications, Calexis assassins neutralizing psychic leaders, and Vindicare snipers eliminating high-value targets. The entire cult structure was dismantled within a single standard week, with minimal collateral damage and no public awareness of the threat's existence. The Officio has also adapted its recruitment and training methodologies to meet evolving challenges. The traditional practice of selecting recruits from orphaned children has been supplemented with a more diverse approach. Promising candidates are now identified from all walks of Imperial life, including veteran guardsmen, Schola Progenium cadets, and even reformed heretics seeking redemption through service. This broadened recruitment base has necessitated the development of more sophisticated screening and indoctrination techniques. The Tabula Rasa protocol, a closely guarded secret of the Officio, allows for the selective erasure and rewriting of memories, enabling the creation of deep-cover identities that can withstand even the most rigorous psychological scrutiny. Training regimens have been updated to include simulations of emerging threats. Assassin initiates now face virtual recreations of Necron tomb worlds, awakening, diplomatic entanglements, and even hypothetical scenarios involving traitor primarchs returning to real space. These exercises ensure that Officio operatives are prepared for any eventuality, no matter how unlikely or exotic. The Officio's approach to target selection and mission planning has also evolved. Advanced predictive models, developed in collaboration with the Adeptus Mechanicus, allow for the identification of potential threats before they fully materialize. This proactive stance has led to a significant increase in preemptive strikes, with assassins eliminating would-be heretics and xenos sympathizers before they can cause significant harm to the Imperium. However, this shift towards preemptive action has not been without controversy. Questions have been raised about the ethical implications of executing individuals for crimes they have not yet committed. The Ordo Hereticus has taken a particular interest in monitoring these operations, wary of the potential for abuse inherent in such a system. In response to the growing psychic awakening across the galaxy, the Officio has increased its focus on anti-psyker operations. All temples now incorporate some level of psychic defense training, while the Culexis Temple has seen a significant expansion in its ranks. Research into artificial null field generation continues, with the goal of eventually producing technology that can replicate the Culexis assassin's unique abilities. The rise of more sophisticated augmetic and cybernetic technologies has led to the creation of hybrid assassin types that blur the lines between the traditional temples. These chimera operatives combine the strengths of multiple disciplines, such as a Vindicare's marksmanship with a Kaleidus's shape-shifting abilities, or an Eversour's combat prowess with a Culexis's null aura. While still experimental, these hybrid assassins represent a potentially revolutionary development in the Officio's capabilities. As the Imperium faces unprecedented challenges in the wake of the Great Rift, the Officio Assassinorum stands at the forefront of humanity's silent war for survival. Its operatives, armed with the most advanced technologies and trained in arts, both ancient and cutting-edge, continue to shape the fate of the galaxy from the shadows. In an age of unrelenting darkness, the assassins of the Officio remain the Emperor's most lethal and precise instruments, their every action a carefully calculated step in the eternal dance of galactic dominance. The Officio Assassinorum's impact reverberates far beyond the immediate consequences of its operations. The organization's very existence shapes the behavior of Imperial citizens and enemies alike, creating a pervasive atmosphere of vigilance and paranoia that serves as a powerful deterrent against sedition and heresy. In the upper echelons of Imperial society, the mere whisper of assassin involvement can alter the course of politics. Planetary governors and sector lords conduct their affairs with the constant awareness that their actions may draw the attention of the Officio's watchful eyes. This invisible pressure often proves more effective than overt threats in maintaining compliance with Imperial dictates. On Hive-world Necromunda, rumors of a Kaleidus assassin's presence sparked a wave of preemptive confessions and loyalty demonstrations among the noble houses. The resulting purge of corrupt officials and heretical sympathizers achieved in weeks what might have taken years of conventional investigation and enforcement. The Officio's influence extends even to the realm of faith and doctrine. The ecclesiarchy, while publicly denouncing assassination as contrary to imperial creed, privately acknowledges the Officio's role in preserving the purity of the imperial cult. In some sectors, particularly devout imperial citizens view assassins as agents of the emperor's divine judgment, their actions beyond question or reproach. During the Plague Wars, a Calexis assassin's elimination of a Nurglite cult leader on Sanctus Machina was witnessed by thousands. The event was quickly spun into a miracle story, with the assassin portrayed as a manifestation of the emperor's wrath against the corrupt. This narrative not only boosted morale, but also led to a surge in faithful military recruitment. Among xenos races, the Officio's reputation elicits a range of reactions. The Aldari, with their own traditions of death dealers and assassins, regard the Officio with a mixture of professional respect and wary caution. Tau diplomats have learned to factor in the possibility of assassination when dealing with the Imperium, leading to more cautious and indirect approaches in their expansion efforts. The Orcs, true to form, view the challenge posed by Imperial assassins with enthusiastic relish. Some war bosses have even taken to wearing particularly ostentatious headgear in hopes of attracting the attention of Vindicare snipers, seeing a duel with such a skilled opponent as the ultimate test of their own prowess. Within the Imperium's military forces, knowledge of the Officio's capabilities serves as both inspiration and warning. Imperial Guard regiments trade hushed stories of impossible shots and miraculous last-minute interventions that turn the tide of hopeless battles. Space Marine chapters, while often disdainful of what they perceive as dishonorable tactics, nonetheless recognize the strategic value of precision strikes against key enemy leaders. The psychological impact of assassin deployment extends to the Officio's targets as well. Chaos war bands and heretical cults operate under constant paranoia, knowing that at any moment, one of their number could be revealed as a Kaleidus infiltrator. This atmosphere of suspicion often proves as disruptive to enemy operations as actual assassinations. During the 13th Black Crusade, the mere rumor of Officio involvement caused several Chaos Lords to turn on their own lieutenants, significantly weakening Abaddon's forces before they even engaged Imperial defenses. The Officio's influence on Imperial technology and research cannot be overstated. The demands of assassination missions drive innovation in fields ranging from weapons development to biotechnology. Advances in chameleonic materials, originally designed for Vindicare camouflage, have found applications in Imperial Navy stealth systems. The hypermetabolic stims used by Eversor assassins have led to breakthroughs in combat medicine that benefit frontline troops across the Imperium. In the realm of Imperial intelligence gathering, the Officio's methodologies have become the gold standard. The Vanus Temple's data analysis techniques have been partially adopted by administratum offices, leading to more efficient resource allocation and threat identification throughout Imperial space. The Officio's operations have also had unforeseen consequences on galactic politics. The assassination of key figures can create power vacuums that reshape entire sectors. In the aftermath of the Cryptus campaign, the elimination of several Tyrannid Synapse creatures by a team of Vindicare assassins not only blunted the Hive Fleet's advance, but also allowed a fledgling Genestealer cult to gain a foothold in the power structure of a nearby Hive world. The Officio's actions sometimes intersect with the schemes of other secretive Imperial organizations, creating complex webs of intrigue. Inquisitorial investigations have been known to either benefit from or be completely derailed by the sudden elimination of key suspects. This has led to an unspoken protocol among Inquisitors to discreetly inquire about potential Officio involvement before committing significant resources to any major operation. In the wake of the Great Rift's appearance, the Officio's role has become even more crucial. With large swaths of the Imperium cut off from Terra's direct control, assassins often serve as the only means of enforcing Imperial will in distant sectors. This increased autonomy has led to debates within the organization about the extent of their mandate and the potential need for more decentralized command structures. The Officio's influence extends even to the realm of Imperial culture and art. While the organization itself remains shrouded in secrecy, the concept of the noble assassin acting in service to a greater cause has become a common trope in Imperial literature and theater. These romanticized depictions, while far from accurate, serve to reinforce the idea of the Officio as an omnipresent, justice-dealing force. On Forge worlds and Hive planets alike, the technological advances driven by the Officio's needs have spurred industrial growth and innovation. The quest for ever more perfect killing tools has led to breakthroughs in materials, science, energy weapons, and nanotechnology that have applications far beyond the field of assassination. The Officio's operations have even influenced the development of imperial architectural styles. The prevalence of hidden passages, false walls, and secret chambers in the palaces of planetary governors and sector lords is a direct response to the threat of infiltration by Kallidus assassins. In the grand tapestry of imperial history, the threads woven by the Officio Assassinorum are often invisible but profoundly impactful. From the highest spires of Terra to the most distant frontier worlds, the silent war waged by these shadowy operatives continues to shape the Imperium's destiny, one precision strike at a time. As the Imperium stands on the brink of a new era, the Officio Assassinorum faces unprecedented challenges and opportunities. The emergence of the Great Rift has reshaped the galaxy, creating new threats and altering the very nature of warfare. In this shifting landscape, the assassin temples must adapt or risk becoming obsolete. One of the most pressing concerns for the Officio is the increasing prevalence of warp-based phenomena. The thinning of the veil between real space and the immaterium has made traditional assassination techniques less reliable against demon-infused targets or those protected by powerful psychic wards. In response, the Officio has intensified its collaboration with the Adeptus Mechanicus to develop new weapons capable of affecting both material and immaterial foes. The Etheric Disruptor, a prototype weapon in testing by Vindicare operatives, shows promise in this regard. By firing projectiles infused with anti-warp energies, these rifles can theoretically banish demonic entities back to the warp or disrupt the connection between demon and host. Early field tests have yielded mixed results, with some targets proving vulnerable while others seem to feed on the weapon's energy. The Kallidus Temple faces its own set of challenges in this new reality. The increasing instability of real space has made shapeshifting more unpredictable and dangerous. There have been reports of Kallidus assassins becoming trapped between forms or inadvertently taking on characteristics of local warp phenomena. To counter this, the temple has begun incorporating limited psychic training into its regimen, teaching operatives to stabilize their forms through sheer force of will. For the Culexus Temple, the post-Rift era presents both danger and opportunity. The surge in psychic activity across the Imperium has made their null aura abilities more valuable than ever. However, it has also made them more conspicuous, as the void they create in the warp becomes more noticeable to psychically attuned beings. The temple is experimenting with techniques to modulate the intensity of their null field, allowing for greater stealth in psychically active environments. The Eversor Temple, always at the forefront of bioaugmentation, has accelerated its research into warp-resistant implants. The goal is to create assassins capable of operating effectively within areas of high warp saturation without succumbing to corruption. This has led to some disturbing developments, including prototype eversaurs that appear to exist partially in both real space and the warp simultaneously. Vanis operatives find themselves grappling with an exponential increase in data volume and complexity. The fractured nature of the post-Rift Imperium means that information from beyond the Great Rift is often contradictory or impossibly dated. To compensate, the Temple has begun incorporating limited precognitive abilities into their predictive models, attempting to divine future events through a combination of data analysis and carefully controlled psychic forecasting. The Venom Temple's expertise in toxins and biological agents has taken on new importance in an era where entire worlds can be lost to warp-borne plagues. Their research now focuses on developing compounds that can affect both physical bodies and warp entities. One promising avenue involves toxins that can be psychically imprinted with the target's essence, allowing them to track and eliminate specific individuals across both material and immaterial planes. Beyond the individual temples, the Officio as a whole is re-evaluating its place within the broader imperial power structure. The return of Robert Guilliman and his efforts to reform the Imperium have placed new scrutiny on the organization's methods and accountability. There is an ongoing debate within the Officio's upper echelons about whether to embrace greater transparency or to retreat further into the shadows. This tension came to a head during the Plague Wars, where Officio assassins found themselves operating alongside Guilliman's forces in full view of regular Imperial troops. The effectiveness of these overt operations has led some within the organization to advocate for a more public role, arguing that the sight of assassins fighting alongside other Imperial forces could serve as a powerful motivator for the common soldier. Others within the Officio caution against such exposure, fearing that it could compromise their ability to operate covertly in the future. They argue that the organization's true strength lies in its mystique and unpredictability, and that becoming a known quantity would ultimately reduce their effectiveness. The Officio is also grappling with the logistical challenges posed by the Great Rift. With large portions of the Imperium cut off from Terra, maintaining central control over assassin deployments has become increasingly difficult. This has led to the implementation of the Autonomous Directive Protocol, which grants greater decision-making authority to individual temple masters in isolated sectors. While necessary for continued operations, this decentralization carries its own risks. There are concerns that without proper oversight, rogue elements within the Officio could emerge, potentially using their considerable skills and resources for personal gain or in service to heretical causes. To mitigate these risks, the Officio has begun embedding specially trained Vanus operatives within each temple's command structure. These individuals serve as both coordinators and watchdogs, using their analytical skills to optimize operations while also monitoring for signs of corruption or deviation from Imperial goals. The post-Rift era has also seen a shift in the Officio's target priorities. While the elimination of political and military leaders remains a core function, there is an increased focus on neutralizing psychic and warp-based threats. This has led to closer cooperation with the Ordo Malleus of the Inquisition, with joint operations becoming more common, especially in areas experiencing heightened demonic activity. As the Imperium faces an uncertain future, the Officio Assassinorum stands at a crossroads. The organization must balance its traditional methods with the need for innovation, its desire for secrecy with the demands for greater integration with other Imperial forces. The choices made in this turbulent time will shape not only the future of the Officio, but potentially the fate of the Imperium itself. In the grim darkness of the 41st Millennium, where there is only war, the assassins of the Officio continue their silent vigil. They are the unseen blade of the Emperor, the final sanction against those who would threaten humanity's dominion. As the galaxy burns with new conflicts and ancient hatreds, these shadowy operatives move unseen, their actions rippling through the tapestry of history, forever altering the course of the Imperium's destiny.